All righty, family. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We back at it again with another exhortation through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Wa, Rakak, Wadash, giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto the Most High Heavenly Father for this very moment. You know, we want to say Barakatham to all of those who are being diligent inside this truth, starting from the elders on down to the youth, those who are doing the best that they can when it comes down to keeping the commandments of the Most High Heavenly Fathers, as well as carrying on the faith of the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai is the Malak. And as we always make it known, it's all about the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? It's the brother Awar.
Brother Elijah.
And we out here again with another exhortation representing what it means to be fire on the highways. So overall, family, we want you to bear witness to something, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shah. You know, because primarily when we bring it out, you know, we speak on things that's dealing with the matters of you purging leaven out of your souls. Now we know that leaven is a representation of sin, and sin is what is of transgression against the Most High's commandments. You know, basically one who is in place of operating out of a state that is of leaning to their own understandings. You know, and usually at times like that, that's when we mix things that are of our lives personally without being particularly balanced within the Lord and getting a true understanding of what it means to walk with Him and merging more into that place that is of holiness. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just basically getting caught up on everything else, which leads us astray emotionally and mentally when it comes down to cleaving unto Yahweh Yahweh Shah spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, overall, we speak things that's in the matters of what is of that inner man, you know, making a stance for what it means to, to be strong and be diligent in what it means to be ministers of the new covenant, you know, and at the same time, as a minister of the new covenant, we showing forth that we are not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. You know, overall, His bloodshed and what it actually stands for, you know, merging us into that estate, you know, of becoming more of what it means to be as that being, you know, letting the old man be old and you merging into that new man, you see, because the new man is for the new covenant. You see what I'm saying? You can't take the old man and move into what is of new covenant, because then you're going to end up being back at square one. You know, that's why the scriptures always makes it known for us to not mix new wine with old skins. Key point, new with old. You see? So, you know, just going further into it, you know, to help Akim and Akwakim to be motivated and building themselves up as far as being more confident, you know, and where they stand at, not through their own understandings, but the understanding that has been given unto you out of this grace to keep you being as a living example on what it means to mortify the deeds of the flesh and killing it daily. And as a soul, you cleave into the inner man and doing what you got to do and pleasing Yahweh Yahweh Shai, you know? So, we're going to go further into it, you know what I'm saying, through the spirit, man.
The book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 16. And Yahweh Shai, when He was baptized.
When He was what?
When He was baptized.
Now, I want y'all to see something when He was baptized, right? Now, I had and before going further into this, I had a situation, you know, earlier, and it was something, you know, that was beautiful and where the Lord was supping with me, you know, about. And remember during the time in Noah when the Lord had flooded the earth, right? And those who were in the ark, meaning those that were in spirit and in truth, ended up being delivered, right? And ended up bearing witness to a new covenant. You see what I'm saying? Because nothing is new under the sun. There's just an establishment set in place where you can be able to operate more in what is about keeping what He has given unto us and what to keep. Which broadens out the perspective of Yahweh's way of loving. And Yahweh Shai is the physical manifestation that is which is of, you know, He Himself as the Word, and we who are a part of the word, being as word in these perilous times, being as light unto those who are in darkness. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the overall point is that I was relaxed, and I was in the waters. And when I was in the water, right, and I laid back, and something came to me as I'm relaxed, and I just had myself to be submerged under the water, and I just sat there, you know what I mean, just chilled there, you know what I mean, and I was able to hear things beyond the waters. But for the most part, when you are under the water, it's muffled, and what you do hear is something beating, something pulsating. Whereas overall, you're because you're under the water, you can hear your heart beating. So the water is symbolic for the spirit. And I want y'all to catch this if y'all are able to receive it. The water is symbolic for the spirit, saying when the spirit is set in place in your life and helping you to stay focused, sometimes it will block out things that you will typically have your ears to be attentive to. It will block it out, meaning it will cause it to be muffled, so that you can pay attention to what matters the most. Your heart, which is of the mind, which is all in the matters in your way of thinking, which is all in the matters of your way in being. You see, your heart makes up of who you are, what you allow yourself to be connected to, and what you allow yourself to not be connected to. And the spirit of the Lord in these perilous times are set in a place amongst those who are of new covenant like never before, where the things that are of the world, they hear it, they see it, but it's muffled, and the spirit is set in a place where it's blocking out everything else, where you are only able, if you are in tune with the spirit, where you are in tune in a way where you're only able to pay attention to what the heart is in tune with. You see what I'm saying? When I was under the water, it made me to see things, how the spirit, when it's leading you, it's having you to reflect and pay more attention to your heart. It's your heart. I don't give a damn how many scriptures you know. I don't give a damn how many mysteries you got. And I say this all the time. If your heart is not in the right place, all of what you do know is vanity. Because if what you know, if it ain't put to good use and you bettering yourself, it's all vanity. You can speak to tell somebody else to make change, but if you ain't applying it to yourself, it's all vanity. And I say that to say this. Read this. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 16.
Remember, the earth has got flooded and put under water, meaning the earthen vessel is now being put under water. The ark is of the heart. If you ain't in tune, if y'all perceiving this, if y'all not in tune, in building continuously, diligently, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, the scripture says in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6, those who are, he said, those that diligently seek him will be rewarded. What shows how you seek him is what you do out of obedience when it comes down to your heart. If you gotta cut some people off, if you gotta cut some things off, don't cause yourself to go off because of others. Like Noah, he was focused on building the ark because he refused to fall with those who were rejecting what it means to be obedient in preparing your ark. You see? So the same way as it was during the times of Noah is right now. You got to prepare your ark. And that's all in the matters of this new covenant. The bloodshed of Yahushua is on the doorpost. I'm gonna bring that back. The bloodshed of Yahushua is on the doorpost, because that's all in the matters of when destruction do come, you are covered. Like Noah, the Lord closed that door on the ark. Not Noah. The Lord closed the door. You see? Yahushua closed the door. And what was coming? Death. Meaning the spirit was moving, but at the same time, death was there. But what was being done? It was a purging process to the earth in vessel. I want you to see this through the spirit. So what was within the heart, as the earthen vessel is purged out, though it may be some struggles here and there, but for the most part, it ain't gonna be in place of causing what was in the ark to how can I say it? What is in the ark to be in subjection to what is left and what is of a struggle in the earthen vessel. This right here is about to show you what Yahushua bear witness to, which was, he was at the moment a physical manifestation of what was going on in every aspect within the scriptures during the time of Noah, during the time of our people being delivered out of Egypt, during the time out of all of these events that took place. You see, it all is symbolic in giving you inward man knowledge, so it can wheel you in as a soul on what to cleave unto and what is pleasing unto Yahushua. Because flesh cannot glory in his presence. It's the spirit itself, because it's a oneness in the Lord that glorifies him in his presence. You see? Read that, Baba Kushal.
The book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 16. And Yahushua, when he was baptized, went up straight away out of the water.
He went straight away out of the water.
And lo, the heavens were open unto him.
The heavens were open unto him. So what is this being said at the very moment? What is being said at the very moment? How he had it within himself, right? To go underwater. Meaning it takes the spirit, right? Because the water is symbolic for the spirit. It takes the spirit of the Lord, if you're supping with him, to give you a better understanding on what it means to mortify the deeds of the flesh. Not only just that, but to give you a better understanding of you who are a soul. And not only just that, but to reveal to you the knowledge of the inward man, to get you in a place in a oneness to the things that are heavenly. You see, because now what is within is in order. And by it being in order, you're now able to attain the things that are heavenly. This is why when he came up from the waters, which was symbolic, as in we already know on the surface, the old being old and you merging into the new. But in reality, it's showing you how what is of that the estate of you going down into the water is you bearing witness to how that heart really truly is. Because you can say you're ready for it, but then when you go down into the waters and not understand that heartbeat, meaning how in tune it really is to what the spirit is getting ready to take the soul through. And that's where the wisdom comes in, that in trying you in crooked paths. You see what I'm saying? So the overall point, right? We know it's not so much as a physical thing, though this was physical, but is a spiritual thing where the word itself is a washing. That's the Psalms 119 and verse 9, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way by taking heed according to thy word. You see?
There's a spiritual aspect between what he's saying as in the physical. So like you said, everything starts off in the supernatural, then ends off in the physical.
In the physical.
So you can't have you can't have fire without that spark.
That's right.
You can't have, just a regular example, you can't have water without the water faucet. It's like, it has to start from somewhere. He just putting it into a perspective. You know, the reason why I want to say that, because I don't want to come up in the comments try to say, oh, this no.
Yeah, because most people, they do that. But hey, man, if that's what they do, that's what they do. But we know for the most part, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, those that have ears to hear will bear witness to what the Spirit is saying, to show you when you're seeking out the Lord, because you find you find Yahweh Shem Shah, or shall I say Yahweh Shah, all through the Old Testament. You find them even through the actions in where a lot of the prophets were standing at. Like, this thing just goes deep, man. It goes deep. It goes deeper than, yo, man, Yahweh Shah, you know, being Solomon and Isaac. It gets deeper than that. You see what I'm saying? Because the overall point, when you start getting into it more, is bringing you into a level where you can be able to be in remembrance of not only who you are, but your place when it comes down to kingdom. Because we are the kingdom. That's why Yahweh Shah said the kingdom of God is within you. You see? Go ahead. Go with that again, Baba Kushah.
And he saw the spirit of Yahweh descending like a dove.
And he saw the spirit of Yahweh descending like a dove. The dove, man, is symbolic. You know who name actually means dove? Hosea. Go into it, watch. Pull it up. Hosea's name. One of their names, it means dove. Type in Hosea. In Hebrew, his name meaning. Watch. You gonna see. And then it make you think, why would Hosea's name mean dove? And if you look at what Yahweh Shai been through, it's the same thing Hosea been through. When when Hosea was like, why do I gotta buy my wife? She belonged to me. What did Yahweh Shai do when it came to us? He bought us with a price. You see what I'm saying? But what was Gomer doing? She was in what? Whoredom. Watch, go ahead.
Meaning salvation. Hosea, as a man's name, is of Hebrew origin. And the name of Hosea is salvation.
It means salvation, but watch this. Because when I pulled it up in the Hebrew, hold on one second.
Talk about the Strongs? Or the Blue Letter?
Hold on one second. Hold on. See? No, Salakia. It ain't Hosea. Even though they had to come out. It's Jonah. Jonah names means dove.
Oh, wow.
Woo! Like, you gotta see this, right? Like, when you pay attention to where the Spirit of the Lord stands at in Salakia family, it ain't Hosea. Hosea's name means salvation. Jonah's name means dove. So I'm trying to have you to broaden out.
Right.
Yeah, in the scriptures where you like, well, why is this? Why is that? Because you're questioning. All your questioning goes in place of you seeking out the Lord. Because you're gaining the evidence of Yahweh Shem Shah still existing. The more you are growing in understanding how he exists, because Yahweh means he exists, then you'll begin to gain a better perspective on how Yahweh Shah, he is the deliverer. And the deliverer is all in place throughout all these scriptures. This is how you grow in the faith. Because wisdom, you know what I'm saying, mama is giving you understanding. Because the Father is the one that's bringing forth the instructions through the word. You see? You got to see that. And then we know the story of Jonah. That fits for everybody who's been in whoredom. You see what I'm saying? Because Jonah went off, right? Yeah. Jonah went off. Jonah went off and like, what? I ain't going over there. I'm doing this and doing that. Just like Gomer. Gomer made it with Hosea wife. She made it within herself to go do what she wanted to do. And she was a whore, man. You see? But the Lord showing you, why do you think that adulterous woman, when she turned around and when the elders and the Pharisees and all of them, they wanted to stone her to death, man. They wanted to stone her to death. And what happened? Yahweh Shah said, he that have not sinned, cast the first stone. They all dropped the stones. He showed mercy. Because he knew that by being in new covenant, right? Because he's the living example of new covenant. He like, I gotta show you and teach you how to operate within it. Not only amongst those who are close to you, but even unto those who are around you. Because this is bigger than what y'all thought to yourselves and what y'all perceived in what was of the Old Testament. You see, this is about kingdom. This is about the true men of the Lord being in power, who are the Israelites, man. Who are the princes of power, man. Yasharella. You see, this is why we say Quam Yasharella, man. Rise, princes of power. Because it is for us as the sons of God to be the ones in power. You see? But all of that is going to be done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Everything is happening now. Everything. It been going on. That's why we are able to come up to the point of where we at and understanding the things that we do understand because of the spirit of the Lord. You see? So, Salakia family, again, it wasn't Hosea's name meaning dove. It's Jonah's name meaning dove. But Hosea's name means salvation. So you see, when it talked, Yahweh Shah came to do what? To redeem us. You know what I mean? And him redeeming us is through this new covenant. You see? Do you got the blood of the Lamb on your doorpost when it comes down to that ark? You see? Real talk. You see? So either in both perspectives, the Spirit's still going to get the glory. I ain't getting the glory. Because see, at that moment of myself being at fault. But the Spirit still had it within itself to bring things together to show you. Because what Yahweh Shai did, he went down in the waters and then he came back up and the heavens had opened up and it was like a dove descending down. Showing you at the end of the day, you don't want to lean to your own understandings when the Spirit is dealing with you. Understand what is of your own understandings is when the things that you have yourself to cleave unto mentally that is against the Lord, right? And you're emotionally attached to it. So when something is brought about, you can't have an ear to hear or eye to see because your mind is already made up on what to believe. So that at that particular moment shows forth of what? One who is quenching the Spirit. And that's not what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah has called us in doing. You see what I'm saying? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah hasn't called us to quench the Spirit. If we're going to move in the Spirit, we move in the Spirit. You know? We don't want no pride. We don't want none of these things taking place within the matters of our hearts to cause us to go off. You know what I'm saying? Especially in these times right now. You know what I'm saying? You know? Go ahead.
Enlightening upon him.
Enlightening what?
Enlightening upon him.
Enlightening upon him, man. That lightning is the what? The voice of the Lord. Saying authority was given unto Yahweh Shah. Why? Because wisdom was with him. How you know wisdom was with him? If you go inside Matthew chapter 4, right? Matthew chapter 4, and you read inside there, he was led in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. But what did he do while he was being tempted of the devil? He was exercising his authority that has been given unto him by the Father. Remember, the Spirit led him into the wilderness. What Spirit? The Holy Spirit. You see? The Rakak Wadash. The Comforter. You see? You knew the Comforter had to be with him because of all he had to endure on the behalf of us. You see? That's why the days are being shortened for the elect's sake. Because everything that's here is wicked, man. It's straight wicked. Wicked. You gotta purge that wickedness out of our hearts, man. And not make up excuses for it. You see?
One more verse.
Yeah, come.
And lo, a voice from heaven saying.
And lo, a voice from heaven. But if you look at this, after the word him, it's 2 dots, right?
Right.
Which is everything that's being said after that is only going to bring out what is really being said All right, what is really being said in that context, that's in verse 16. Go ahead.
And lo, a voice from heaven saying.
The voice from heaven, because the Spirit is being descended upon Yahushua, right? It meaning Yahushua going into new levels in the Spirit. You see what I'm saying? And then not only just that, but there's a voice, there is a shout, there is something that is being decreed at that very moment from the Father speaking unto Yahushua, right?
This is my beloved Son.
This is my beloved Son. This is something that Yahushua is taking in remembrance. You see? Go ahead.
In whom I am well pleased.
In whom I am well pleased. Meaning, the Father is well pleased with Yahushua. All Yahushua had to do is just walk that thing out. But if you look at the story, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, if you look at the events that were going on in the walk, there were things that he had himself to be more in tune with, so he can be able to. It's things that he's seen that were connected to the hearts of man that was around him, that the Father was revealing to him out of the Spirit, where he can see where the enemy was able to work at by just seeing the things that are going around the person. If you are, like, for instance, if a person is in a position of being in a confused state, just look at the things that are going on around them. What type of people are they allowing to be in a circle? What type of people do they have themselves to be open to? What type of things are they consuming and allowing their bodies to digest? Like, you see what I'm saying? That can give you, you know what I'm saying? Like what they say, birds of a feather, they flock together. So you got to understand, it's like a woman who can be faithful, right? But if she hanging around a bunch of females that are hoes, eventually those ways will begin to wither off on her if she's not strong enough. And it'll first start off, if that woman got a man, her back talking her man, her bucking up against him, her trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to dominate him. So it's different aspects that will reveal how the enemy will work in a person's heart to cause them to deter from the Spirit of the Lord. So overall, hey man, we got to get on out of here. I pray that this video was something that was edifying. You know what I'm saying? So we want to give all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Wa, Bakak, Wadash, Shalom to y'all family. Shalom. Where I'm standing at is that judgments starts off in the house of God, man. And where judgment stand at, when it comes down to the house of God, you want to make sure that you got yourself in the right place inwardly in order to build on what it means to please Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Not in man's way, but in God's way.
For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man.